Okay. I'm Rick Spence with Startup Canada. We're here at the Institute for Quantum Computing in Waterloo, meeting with Martin, and we're trying to find out where the Institute fits into the whole entrepreneurial ecology of Waterloo. So if you start out, please tell us your name and your title and give us a quick idea of what you do here at the Institute.
My name is Martin Laforest. I'm the manager of scientific outreach here at the IQC. Most of my work is actually bringing the science from the lab to the world. So there's lots of research being done here. We're primarily a fundamental research institute, but we feel it's important to bring what's going on within the wall to the outside, to the industry partners, to the general public, to students, former students.
Now, I took physics in grade 12, but I didn't distinguish myself. So can you explain so that all understand what quantum computing is really all about?
Yeah. So quantum computing is a bit of a not general enough term. So what we'd like to talk about is quantum science and technology. So what is happening now, and it's a field of research that's been very active in the past 15 years, is we're trying to bring together two of the very important discoveries of the 20th century, namely quantum mechanics, which is the theory of the behavior of small particle at the atomic level, and information theory, which is the theory of the computer, communication, the internet, and all the digital technology that we have. And we're trying to bring it together. What if we can control and manipulate information in a quantum mechanical way? Can it have advantage to do it? And it turns out, yes, it can. There are many places where we know it would be more powerful than the regular information processing. There's places where we know it's not going to be more powerful, and there's lots of places where we don't know. So we already know it has a tremendous impact, but there's still lots to be discovered.
What are some of the discoveries that you think could be coming out of an institute like this over the next 15 or 20 years that people would be able to get and understand and see, yeah, this is making a difference in my life or the way I do things?
Well, at an institute like this, so we are still a fundamental research institute, but we are targeted fundamental research institute. So we know the potential of the quantum technologies. We know where we're going. We might not know where we're going to end up. So when you ask me what's going to come out within 15, 20 years, it's a very tough question to answer. But one thing I can tell you is, like, every single day we make progress in understanding how quantum system works, how to control them, and then every single day with our collaborator everywhere in the world, we're making progress. Now, that being said, there's already places where the quantum technologies are starting to show improvement over what we call regular or classical technologies. One example is in cryptography. Turns out we can use a quantum mechanical effect to securely, and by security I mean absolutely unbreakable, to connect two partners, Alice and Bob, or two people wants to communicate securely with no possibility whatsoever to eavesdrop, and that is given to us by the laws of nature, namely quantum mechanics. Other places where they start to have very serious development, actual commercializable product, is in what we call quantum sensors. If we can devise sensors that work solely on the laws of quantum mechanics, which is ultimately the behavior of nature, we can push sensors to the ultimate limit of efficiencies that nature allows. And that you can think of this as building better magnetometer, or being able to image proteins or molecules, and being able to image a single protein.
Now, we're here to try and find out where the Institute of Quantum Computing fits into the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Waterloo. And the interesting thing is that the Institute owes its origin to a prominent Waterloo entrepreneur, Mike Lazaridis of RIM. Can you tell us a little bit about how it got started and where it fits into this whole community of science and entrepreneurship and collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we go back maybe in the late 90s, early 2000, Mike Lazaridis, who's was a founder of Research in Motion, a very successful company at the time, he always been a passionate of science, and specifically physics. And he also understands the importance of fundamental research, all the way from trying to understand the most basic behavior of things, all the way to have a commercial product. But he really sees the importance and the impact that fundamental research can have. So that's why in late 1990s, he decided to donate a large sum of money, I think it's $100 or something million, to create the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics, which is an institute which really tried to understand the big question of the universe. You know, what is everything made of, how things behave, and very fundamental theoretical physics. But he also had the vision that this very nascent field of quantum computing and quantum information had a tremendous potential to be the next best thing. So that's why he also decided to fund, up to today, up to $101 million, the Institute for Quantum Computing, which is still a research institute, but we do targeted research in the sense that not only we do fundamental research, but there is a goal at the end. Now, that being said, an institute like us, we're bringing the field forward from all the facets in the goal of later having some entrepreneurs coming out of the institute or coming to partner with us to bring those technology and then to bring them to the marketplace. So here in Waterloo, you have the whole span of the innovation cycle, from the very basic fundamental research to the targeted research to the incubation to the commercialization.
And are entrepreneurs welcome in the Institute now, or is it still a little too early for you and them and the researchers here to be able to collaborate?
Well, it turns out to this day, on the 10th anniversary of the Institute for Quantum Computing, we already have 2 startup companies.
Really?
One of them is a startup company that is actually partnered with the Accelerator Center. They were working on quantum cryptography, and they needed a piece of electronic that was not available on the market or was not fast enough on the market. So they just built it. The other company is actually was started by 2 PhD students of ours. They created a way to create a photon source. So photon is a particle of light, which is something that we use a lot for quantum cryptography, but also for quantum computing. They found a way to create a chip, so an integrated chip that can create those single photons. So yeah, so entrepreneurs are always welcome, and actually not only this, we are encouraging our students here, like you see, to be entrepreneur. And actually just here this summer, in a couple of weeks, we have a 2-week course called Quantum Entrepreneurship, where we have we're flying in a couple of guys who were quantum physicists who then launched successful companies. And then they come here and talk about their experience as entrepreneurs and in a very science-heavy field of quantum technologies.
Okay, well, thank you. We hear so much about Waterloo and that secret sauce of bringing science and technology and innovation and business together, and I think you've given us a great glimpse of the future and where it's going. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.